So these problems like this with matrices are really just a test of arithmetic skills that almost can be overwhelming. So what we eventually want to try to do to solve a system of equations using matrix algebra, you get everything down to just the coefficients, and your goal is to do things to the rows of this matrix to get your solutions, to get it to come down to what we call, this is reduced row echelon form, where you have ones on the diagonal and everywhere else you have zeros, because this essentially means, this first row means 1x plus 0y plus 0z equals that x value. Right? So when we have that set up, that means that there is no x and no y and no z, so that means x is whatever this number is that results from these row operations here. And likewise, the second row means that's the y, and the third row means that's the z. So first we start out, let's write out our matrix. So we got 1, -1, 0. Then we put a bar there, and that bar represents the equal sign all the way across. It separates the coefficients from the actual numbers on the right. So we have 1, -1, and 0 because there is no z. In the second row we got 5, 0, -2, and then 20. And then here in the fourth row we're going to have 0, 5, and 4, and then 5 over here. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, and we're in good shape at least from the standpoint of right here, we've got a 1 in the upper left, and that's what we want. We want a 1 there. Alright, so let's try to get rid of, let's try to go down here. We've got a 0 here. Let's try to make this 5 become a 0. So to do that, what we'll do is I'm going to take this whole row right here and multiply it by 5, and then add it to row 3, and then add it down here to this row. Alright, so this requires, this is fast only if you're good at arithmetic in your head fast. So we're not going to multiply it by 5 and keep it that way. We're just going to multiply it by 5 in our head and then add it to this. So we say 5 times 1 plus 0 gives us a 5 down here. Alright, 5 times -1 plus 5 makes that become 0. Alright, and then 5 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 4 is 4. And then we draw our equals sign, and then we have 5 times 3 is 15, 15 plus 5 is 20. Alright, this is a tough problem because the very first step that you do actually ends up taking away one of your zeros and putting another number there, so you kind of feel like you're not getting anywhere in the first step, but you actually are. So the rest of the numbers are going to stay the same. Right, we didn't change the other ones. We just did that multiplication by 5 in our heads to add to the other one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to see how we have 2 5s right here and 2 zeros. So I'm actually going to be able to solve for x here. So I'm going to multiply. Actually, you can just think of it as subtract this. I'm going to do 5 minus 5, 0 minus 0, -2 minus 4, and 20 minus 20 for my next step. Alright, so 1, -1, 0, 3, 5, 0, -2, 20. Those are going to stay the same. Alright, so now I'm going to take 5 minus 5, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, and then -2 minus 4 is -6, and then 20 minus 20 is 0. Alright, what this represents right here is the statement right here is -6z equals 0. We can divide both sides by -6, and therefore we end up with 0, 0, 1, 0. Alright, and so now we know that z is 0. So now we can take and multiply this row by 2 and add it to the row above it. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so when you do that, you should get 5, 0, 0, 20 when you do that multiplication. So that means 5x equals 20, or x equals 4. And so now for our final step, we'll take row 1 and subtract it from row 2. So keep in mind, when you take 1 minus 1, you're 0, 0 minus -1 is 1, and 4 minus 3 is 1. And so the final solution is y is 1, x is 4, and z is 0.